Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm going to be bringing you another unboxing today, and this is going to be a new reel that I just picked up. And I'll also bring in the rod just to show you the setup and a good rod to kind of pair it up with, at least the size to look for when you're going to pair it up with the rod. To start it out, bring in the reel. It's going to be the Slammer 4 4500 series. So with this, it weighs 15 ounces, has 30 pounds of drag. I have about 220 yards of 40-pound braid on here, but it's going to take, for 30-pound braids, 250 yards, 20-pound braids, 320, and then for 15-pound braid, it's going to end up taking 390 yards. So really good line capacity on this reel. I will say its claim to fame, though, is going to be its drag. So it is a waterproof reel, which a lot of people do look for the waterproofing on the reel. You can actually fully dunk this guy. It's IPX6 rated, so you can dunk it. I do recommend always washing your reels off when you're done, but being a fully sealed reel is nice. So here we go. Give you guys a nice little 360 of the reel. There you go. It is a beautiful reel. The black and gold is just one of those colors that I really dig. Has the power knob on it. I think there might be a ball bearing in this power knob. It could just be like a washer in there, but super smooth. The reel itself is very smooth. You have a little bit more sound to this reel when you're reeling than, like, say, the Sustain or the Saragossa, or anything. The Shimano reels I use. Shimano reels are usually quieter than the Penn reels. I'm a big Shimano fanboy. But the problem is the drag max is not there with Shimano. So this is a 4500 series, and I'm pushing 30 pounds of drag. Versus if you go with a 6000 Gosa, you're ended up only getting, I think, like 25 pounds of drag, which is the same amount of drag on my 5000 Sustain. So it's, for being a larger, beefier reel, you think that the Saragossa should have a lot more drag. This guy is actually a pretty compact package for 30 pounds of drag. And the reason that the drag is very important to me is I'm using this is going to be more of like a jetty fishing, pier fishing around pilings, and I really need to muscle out the fish. I was using the the Sustain to muscle out the fish, and when I hooked up to the bigger snooks, the 34s, the 36s, the 38s, it was a workout. It was just a lot of work to try and make sure to muscle them out of there, keep their head up. It was one of those things where I broke off twice on two good sized snooks, and I immediately said, okay, I don't want that to happen. I started looking at reels, and this was the one that really stuck with me. This was the one that I saw the drag max. I saw the, pretty much that people were having great low end torque out of these to really muscle the fish out. And that's one of the things I really was looking at. Now, the reel that I was comparing this to was the Gosa, the Saragossa from Shimano. Shimano makes great products. Their Sustain is one of the best reels I've ever used in my life. It's a beautiful reel. I actually have the Sustain right here. Let me try and turn these around so I don't break anything. But this is going to be the Sustain right here. So the Sustain is a beautiful reel. What I can do is I can take it off and use it as a comparison for you guys so you can see the size comparison between the two. Now, the Sustain is going to be considerably lighter, though. So I'll take it off the rod to show you guys the comparison between the size. Now, the Sustain, I have been using only 20-pound braid on this one. I was able to muscle up some, 30-inch reds. I was able to muscle up, I think it was about a 34-inch snook was the biggest I got on the reel. But when I got into the bigger ones, I was just seeing something where I needed more torque and more power out of it. So let me see if I can try and get a good comparison in size for you. So the Slammer is going to be larger. With this being a C5000, it's pretty much a 4000 size body with a 5000 size spool, so a larger spool. This is an actual 4500 size reel, so it's going to be a lot larger. They are very close in size, but this is a little bit larger. Now, with the weight difference, you're going to want a heavier rod, is the other thing for these Slammers. So you don't want to go with a light rod. The one that I was pairing it up with, I can move this and not drop everything. was the Bull Bay Assault Rod. This is a 12 to 25 pound, and it's a 7 foot. This is a heavy action rod. I was able to muscle up some 33s and 34-inch snooks with this, and I mean, no problem. No problem at all. Kept the head above water, kept them from running underneath. Just a great setup this is. So this is not my first time unboxing this reel. I've actually tested it out because I don't want to do a review on something or an unboxing on something that is not worth the money. So for the price, I spent $279.99 on this reel. Then I traded in over at Bass Pro, which if you trade in any reel right now, they'll give you $50 off on this one. So this ended up only being right around I want to say about $229. So it's a great reel for the price. If you're spending about $229 on this reel, that's a steal. I think it's definitely worth it. Now, there is a couple little claims of fame with this reel. One is the IPX6 rating. So it's completely waterproof. You can dunk it. It's going to be a great offshore reel, great jetty reel, all that. When you're right around the water, you're on the water, surf fishing, great reel for that. I'm going to read right off the box so I don't get any of the information wrong. This is another claim to fame is going to be the DuraDrag. DuraDrag pretty much just means that you're going to have the ability to use the full drag without any delay. So if you lock this drag down to the 30 pounds, you're going to have the 30 pounds immediately. There's no slight delay in the drag, which is really important, for hook sets. When you're dealing with the bigger fish, you need to make sure that hook is set. And the other thing is going to be that initial run. So snooks will take a very large initial run for the pilings. And if you can break them from that initial run from getting underneath, you're set. There's really no giant second run. Once in a while, they'll have a short burst, but it's nowhere near that first run. So that DuraDrag is very important when you're fishing around pilings and piers and jetties. If you're going for groupers around the rocks, that's also very important. They'll dive right down for those rocks, but as soon as you break them away from there and get them up, that's their first run. That's all their energy. They're pretty much fighting for their life on that first run. So DuraDrag is very nice when you're fishing those jetties, rock piles, anything where there's structure to really rip them away from there. There is the CNC gear technology. CNC gear technology is just meaning that it's a precision cut gear. And it's I want to say an all brass main gear. So what that is, it's just a stronger metal in there to kind of create more torque on the low end to muscle the fish. And that's one of the things where you're going to end up just having a lot of that power. The CNC gear being cut precisely is going to end up pretty much giving you a smoother reel. Now, I have used a 4500 Slammer 3. And the Slammer 3 was not as smooth. It was a little gritty just because it was just, I guess, so bulky and it was very heavy at the time. And it was a nice reel, but it just wasn't as smooth as this Slammer 4. The Slammer 4 is really nice. The drag on there is nice. The drag clicker is nice. Let me see if I can loosen this drag clicker up for you guys so you can hear it. So that is a very loud clicker. I'll try and take it apart real quick. Completely sealed reel is really nice. The line roller bearing is hydrophobic, waterphobic. Pretty much meaning that it's going to be water resistant. It's going to repel water off of it, which is really nice to see in these reels because the main reason for this reel is going to be on the water. It's going to be in the salt water, around the salt water. It's a very heavy duty reel. If you're not fishing saltwater, you're probably fishing for, maybe musky or very large fish with this. Man, this drag goes forever. See if I can completely take it off. There we go. So really nice, this reel overall. Just the sealing on here, you can see that it's completely sealed on the bottom. I can get that in there. And then this is going to be the setup for the clicker. So you have a stainless steel little pen right here. And the pen hits these ridges on this guy. So if you see the holes in there, that's where the clicker comes into play. Now, one thing I will say about Penn reels, they are always over-greased. So this blue stuff on there is going to be the over-grease, is pretty much the grease on there. And that's Penn grease is just, for some reason, they grease the hell out of their reels. Now, one thing I do like seeing is this is all stainless steel in here. This is all stainless steel screws. So let me see if I can show you guys. So right here, these are all stainless steel screws. This is a stainless steel plate. And this plate is pretty much holding in the whole drag washers in there, which is really nice. You can see all the seals on here. Very nice reel overall, really well done. There is no anti-reverse on here. I don't know who's really fishing with anti-reverses this day, but I know that's a common question is there an anti-reverse? And there is not. But very oiled up. There's another seal up top right here. So on the clicker itself is going to be, or the drag, there we go, tightener. So there's a lot of seals all over this reel. It is an all steel body. Actually, I think it's aluminum. So being 15 ounces is a heavier reel. If you're familiar with, like, say, a Shimano, I want to say a common reel would probably be the Stratic FL. That pushes in right around 10 ounces for a 5,000 size. So it is considerably heavier. Actually, I think it's right around 11. So it is heavier. You'll feel it, but it's a very well-balanced reel. The power knot balances out. And then when you put it on a heavier rod, it is a very balanced setup altogether. Now, the Bull Bay rod is going to be one of my favorites right now. I was able to muscle up to 33 and a 34, and I had no issues with it. So very nice rod, just to pair it up with. That's a heavy action. I would definitely say if you're going with a 4500, go with a heavy. If you're going to go with a 3500, maybe a medium heavy. These are heavy reels. These are heavy duty reels. If you're not balancing out the setup, you're gonna have delayed hook sets. It's just gonna be a very uncomfortable reel. So I would say make sure you balance out your setups. If you go with a 2500, you might be able to get away with a medium. 3500 is gonna be a medium heavy, and then a 4500 I would say heavy. Anything past that is gonna be heavy rods, extra heavies, stuff like that, or at least try and balance it out to get a longer rod or a heavier rod setup. I would not put this on my medium heavy Avid. The medium heavy Avid is so light, it doesn't make sense to throw something this heavy on there. But overall, great reel so far. I've caught 2 big snooks on it, or at least good sized snooks, and I'm going to put it under the works for the next 6 months to see what happens. And I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this video, and you have a great day. God bless.